Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video on SQL series. That is, under this TCL commands we are having constant, and in the constant we have already seen that how to create that constant. In this particular video we are going to cover up how to modify and delete the constant. So let's get started with the video. So suppose if you have already been covered up through that video of create constant, there we saw that how to create a constant into a whatever a table, into that table for the column we are creating the constant. Now what the constant is? The constant is the set of rules which we define for a particular column, that this particular type of data should only come into this column. So that is only called as constant. Now how to create it, we already saw that we should be having create table, then table name, and at the time of table creation only we are defining our constant. That means for customer ID there is the constant that it should not be allowing any null value into it. Similarly for first name and for this particular email, you can see that it's the constant is unique. That means all the unique entering into the email entering into this particular table student, those emails should be unique. Now the question comes that how if we have already been created a constant into our table, now if we want to modify that particular constant or to delete that constant, how we can go ahead with that particular scenario. So there are basically I have covered up into 4 stages into which I will be telling you how to modify or to delete it. So for modification, there is no direct way to modify any of the constant. For that we are having the alternative that we will first delete that particular constant and we will create a new constant against that particular column. So that how we can do is, first we will suppose create a table, okay, of a student in which we are having a student ID as primary key and email as the unique. So these two constants are there into it. So for a particular table, how we will check that even what is the constants getting applied into that particular table and what is the constant name. So here for a student ID there is primary key, but there should be constant name, right? So constant name we will get with this particular example, that suppose if we are selecting constant name from information schema.table constant, I will explicitly explain you about all the information schema and all. So but for this particular video I'm just leaving it up here that how to find out what all constant are available into this for this particular table. So if you are giving only the table name into it and you are fetching information schema.table is constant, you will get all the constant names involved in this particular student table. Now when you got the constant name, let me execute it parallelly. Suppose if you are having this create table, so right now into this master table you can't see any of the student table. I will just in front of you create the student table. Into that student table we will be having 2 constants, that is for a student ID and for email. Now we will see how these are getting fetched. These is constants. Here you can see there are not a student table, correct? Now I will first create the student table. Now you can see that it has been created, and if you will refresh the table you will get the student table in front of you. So you got it, right? So a student table is in front of you now. After that what we can do is we will select the constant name from the student table, that what all constant has been created with what all name. So as soon as you execute it, you can see over here that we are having PK students and UQ students, correct, and with having some arbitrary number concatenated with it. So what we are going to do is, if we want to alter, if we want to suppose this drop the constant that is unique into the email, and again if we want to concatenate that particular thing, if we again we want to have that constant applied into it, how we can do it? So for that, for dropping this unique constant into the student table, what we will do, we will first copy this particular one, right click and then copy this particular one, this ID, that is unique constant name. We will paste it over here. So what the syntax is telling you, that you are going to alter the table student in which you are going to drop the constant with the constant name this particular one. So as soon as you execute this one, you will, and then if you will execute this one, you can see only primary key constant over there into the student column now. So student table now this again you want to have unique applied, that unique constant applied into your email. So what you will do, you will just pass this one. This time you are even passing your unique constant name as well, that is by uq underscore students underscore email. So once you are executing this, you can see that the command has been successfully succeeded. And once you will again execute this particular one to fetch all the constant available into the student table, you will get this particular one, that you are having primary key and now a unique student email as well. So this is how you can drop any constant by this particular command. And if you want to further modify that particular constant, you need to just add it again. There is no direct way to modify the constant into our SQL. You just need to first drop it, then again add with having some other configuration. So that was whole about this video, that how we can modify any constant or how we can delete any constant. I think you don't having any confusion. If you are having any confusion, let me know into the comment section. Thank you so much guys for watching out the video, and see you in the next one with some other video. Thanks.